Welcome back to Style It Up. I'm your host, Olga Medvedev. We have invited a designer who has established himself as a successful entrepreneur. Daniel Hernandez has worked hard to get ahead in this competitive industry. With his natural talent and the education to back it up, he heads the company DH Studios Incorporated. Established in 2002, DH is a premier provider of fashion design and beauty products. Here to share his insight and his knowledge, please welcome Daniel Hernandez. Daniel, thank you so much for being with us today.
Thank you for having me.
So tell us, this is a very competitive industry in Boston, it's a small fashion industry. What did you do to get ahead and how did you become successful?
Well, I think it's been a combination of hard work and definitely networking. And I've actually, like I was talking to one of the people here earlier, I actually took the time to do some internships and learn from some established designers and at the very least figure out what I did not want to do. And the more I knew what I wanted to do, I just became more of an expert on what I wanted to establish myself in.
So tell us a little bit more about DH and yourself and your involvement with the Boston fashion scene.
Well, there's actually a lot more going on with the Boston scene than people think. There's quite a bit of movement in the fashion industry. Back in 1994, I actually was one of the people in the small group that helped create Fashion Week, and that did a lot because I kept in contact with pretty much the group that started back then. But to go way, way back, even further than that, and yes, I probably am a little bit older than I look.
You do look great.
Actually, fashion runs in my family. My grandmother did fashion design for a living, and she raised 10 kids out of design, and actually my grandfather did shoes. So for some bizarre reason, it skipped that generation, and then since I was 7 or 8, I just knew that that's what I wanted to do. So my grandmother raised me, so I spent a lot of time with her.
So you've kind of seen it all. You've seen the shoes, you've seen the this,
I've seen a good chunk of it.
Yeah.
And then when I was about 16, 17, I was actually still in high school, I said to my grandmother that I wanted to actually do this as a job, and we decided to put a clothing line together. And that first clothing line that I did actually won this award back in 1993, 94.
Wow, so you are a veteran of sorts in this industry.
After that, just one thing after another, and now
you have DH, and talk a little bit about DH.
So DH obviously stands for my name, Daniel Hernandez Studios, and pretty much what it is from a business perspective, right now, currently as a showroom at 316 Newbury Street, and I'm currently in the process of developing a extensive menu of products that you can actually mass produce, because I feel that in the past, most of the work that I did was more of a one-of-a-kind, so you couldn't really produce them. So for the past 2 years, what I've been doing is I developed relationships with some of the local labs in the U.S., and I'm proud to say that 100% of my products are out of the United States. Wow. So what I've been doing is I've been developing products that can be mass-produced, and I'm now actually in 2 locations.
Wow, congratulations.
So, thank you. And that's where my focus has been, in understanding what it takes to be able to make, a dozen of something, which is a complete different ballgame.
Manufacturing at this point,
right.
Yeah, on a much bigger scale, for sure. Well, that's really exciting. Because you're established and because you've kind of seen it all in the fashion scene, we've invited 2 young ladies who are on the brink of basically, discovering the fashion industry in Boston, and we're very excited to have them here. And they're kind of here to pick your brain and ask you questions, and let's see, what you can teach them and the direction you can lead them into. Adriana and Jacqueline, please welcome our 2 young ladies. Come on up, and thank you so much. Jacqueline, pleasure to meet you.
Hi,
this is Daniel.
How are you?
And Adriana, thank you so much for being here.
Good to meet you.
Take a seat, ladies.
So here he is. Tell us about yourself a little bit first. Adriana, we'll start with you.
Okay, so I'm Adriana Giron. I'm the designer of Dri by Adriana. I make urban couture dresses for females. I've done some bow ties and vests for males too, but I mainly focus on females. And I am actually graduating May 14th from Regis College. I'm a biology major, and I'm also a designer, so I live like a double lifestyle.
Very, very cool.
Thank you.
Well, I'm Jacqueline Ortega of Ortega Designz. I specialize in unique jewelry and custom designs. I've been designing jewelry between 5 and 7 years, and I just started to transition into actual business.
Well, he's here to kind of talk about that. So I know you have questions, you've prepared questions for him, and definitely don't shy away from any question because he's here at your disposal, so, you know, have at it. Adriana, we'll start with your question.
So tying into me graduating in a couple weeks, I just wanted to know how you went about when you finished your college education, how you went towards developing where you wanted to go in, what direction you wanted to go in with your business and your designs.
I think that's actually a really interesting question because what I would recommend to somebody in your case is probably a little bit more unconventional in a sense that, like I was telling you outside when we talked about it, I think that to me it makes no sense to get all of your education from only one place. I think it's crucial that you evaluate yourself and really understand what you're good at and what you're not, because I think that if you're like me, one of the things that I lack that I'm currently working on is being able to let go of the fact that I'm not perfect at everything. Like I always want everything done a certain way. And it's really bad because then it makes it really difficult to develop teams. So without deviating from the question, I think that it makes a lot of sense to take your time to check out the schools that teach what you're trying to get into and mix and match your classes. For example, in Boston,
Okay, so in Boston, check out other areas. And
I thought she was telling me to shut up.
No, that's fine. Keep going.
So it makes a lot of sense to review the schools. I mean, in your case, you just finished, but I don't know if you're planning to specialize in a particular area. So actually check the schools. Like I remember when I decided to go to school in Boston, I checked Mass College of Art, I checked the School of Fashion Design on Newbury Street, Berkeley, all of them, and
lots of schools in the area. Yeah, so
even like for example, Mass Art was to me it tends to be a little bit more artsy, but they don't really, without being disrespectful, I felt that did not really teach you hands-on production, what it takes to sell, because in reality, creativity is not necessarily what sells.
Yeah,
it might be what opens a door marketing-wise, but it's not what sells. So what?
I'm sorry, I don't mean to cut you off. I just want to. We're short on time, but if you want to ask a question, Jacqueline.
Yeah, I just want to piggyback on that. I mean, how important is education to you? Because so far, everything I know has been self-taught, and I am currently thinking about going back into school, and I have been looking into different schools. But I know you said to pick different classes from different schools, which I think makes a lot of sense. I looked into the fashion design school, and I mean, I'm doing accessories right now, and they don't offer many courses on accessories. So what is your take on that?
I think education, if you're to put ingredients for a successful formula, it's #1. And I think it's something that you never finish learning. And I think especially in a industry where manufacturing is so elaborate, time-consuming, and poorly paid, technology is going to continue to play a big role in making you successful. So once you learn the basics, you have to continue to educate yourself with technology, marketing, every area there is, because it's the only way. There's no other way.
So Daniel, you did mention networking, and I know that you're young, you're coming out of college. Talk to these ladies about networking and what that does for you as a business, as a personal, fashion designer, as a student. How important is it?
Well, for starters, I think that it's a big misconception that people think that for you to network, you have to network with the top of the crowd in the fashion industry. I can tell you that some of my best clients are my friends from high school. Networking is about staying in touch with people that support you. Those are going to be your first circle of clients, and then build on that. And then utilize technology and social networking and all these different outlets that are out there for you to just grow your group, because whenever you need something, those are the ones that are going to do it for you first and take it from there.
Thank you.
Did you have another question?
I just wanted to know how, when you first started off, what was your direction in your branding, your brand? Does that make sense?
Building your brand, because you are a brand. DH Studios is a brand.
I think that building your brand and having a focused idea of what your brand represents, it's something that you have to kind of be sure of from the beginning, because everything you do is going to align on that. So I always had an idea of what I wanted to do with my products and what kind of age group person I wanted to help with my products. So I was always very clear, you know, who my customer is, and understanding how to reach to them and get to them what service I provide that helps them live better. So to me, that's what branding is.
Final question?
Yeah, what is the best way to target your audience, and how to get fashion shows translate into sales?
So marketing, pretty much.
That's 2 questions.
I know.
So
Make it as brief as possible, as precise as possible.
Okay, so the best way that I think for you to reach your client is start with a small group of people that evaluate your product and listen to the feedback. I think that sometimes artists can get caught up in what they think is the right thing. It's like sometimes you can look at yourself in a certain way, but that's not really what people see. Listen to the customer as to what they're saying about your product, how that's meeting their expectations, and build on that. And you'll have followers. I have followers for over 15 years.
Focus groups, pretty much, yeah.
Correct. And that's as little as what you're doing right now. Like, really take the notes and take your time to work on what it is you're trying to develop. Don't guess. Like, do smart decisions based on your current customer and hold on to them.
Perfect. Thank you.
Daniel, thank you so much for coming to
pleasure.
Style It Up and for giving us your insight. It's you know, definitely helpful information. Ladies, thank you so much for joining us.
Thank
Good luck
you.
to both of you. Maybe
Thank you
we'll
very
see you
much.
back here on Style It Up. And
Good luck.
keep us
Thank
informed.
you.
Good luck with everything. Thank you so much.
much.
Unfortunately, that's our show for today. I want to thank our guest, Maria of Aram, Crochet Apparel, our panel, Daniel Hernandez, Adriana Giron, and Jackie Ortega. And of course, we always want to thank you, the viewer. Before I go, I will leave you with this quote by Bruce Oldfield. Fashion is more usually a gentle progression of revisited ideas. Well said. Till next time, I'm Olga Medvedev.